Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is Maje. You are watching LotusMaje, and today you see the thumbnail, you see the title. You know, today I'm going to be doing a reading on the Duggars. This is in particular dealing with Joseph Duggar, I believe it is, who I would say probably within like the last couple of weeks has been detained or arrested because of an alleged victim who recounts from the time she was 9 that an inappropriate relationship began with her and Joseph Duggar. And now I believe she's like 13 or 14, and she's coming forward to divulge the details of that case or that situation from her own telling. And if that name, Duggar, Joseph Duggar, sounds familiar to you, his brother, which is, oh, you know what? I'm gonna have to look up the names because I don't remember their names, but I can tell you, you more than likely know the Duggars from the hit, I believe it was on TLC, show 19 Kids and Counting. There was also allegations from the older sisters, I think it was, that they were inappropriately touched by their brothers or brother, and it became a big scandal. And so, sorry, I'm just typing this. And so that was a big thing. And then I know there was also another big thing online, at least. I don't know if it was a show or anything, but I at least know that online there was a big thing this was some years ago, calling into question the Duggars family religion, and because they follow a form, some people would say a bastardized version of Mormonism, but some people was calling into question kind of some of the cultist behavior of the religion. But that's neither here nor there. Some people don't like Mormons as it is. That's not for me to discuss. I also want to dig into this whole allegation and arrangement on Joseph being called to the front of the congregation because of, this alleged assault. I believe there is also a thing where he and his wife is also have charges launched against them for 4 counts. Now, it's important to mention that because I believe him and his wife have 4 children, and some people think that the 4 counts is dealing in regards to the living conditions or the police's belief that their children are unsafe. Because I believe one of the charges that's launched against Joseph is what is it? Is it not detainment? It's I forget. I think it's something like is it child endangerment? It might be that. I don't know. I'm maybe confusing the charges, but that is something that is coming up, and so people are really wondering what's going to be going on with this case. Why I'm not victim blaming here on like why the young lady is not even young lady, why the girl is coming forward, because again, she was 9 when allegedly this whole thing started, and she's now 13, 14 years old. So there's no victim blaming on my part in this regards. I guess I just kind of want to see what sparked her to come forward, what triggered things for her to be like, hey, this isn't right, and I think some people should know about what's going on, because something about this just isn't sitting right with me. So yes, that's what I'm going to be getting into today, and then we will be closing this out. I do want to also warn you that because this is dealing with SA and this is dealing with a child, it's dealing with a minor, if this is something that is triggering to you, I totally understand that you can click off and go elsewhere, find something that is more in tune with your vibrations right now that make you happy. Don't watch this, click off. But if this is something that is up your alley, I see you true crime watchers, you all will probably be here for that. Let's continue forward. But I do want to get a few things straight. As you can see in my recounting of this and trying to tell this story, I do not have all the ins and outs about this. I am not of any kind of like legal representation or background at all. I'm simply some girl on the internet using tarot cards to figure out what is going on in the world. And along those lines, I am stating this not just to cover my, but to be very transparent with you. I am probably going to mess up something in this reading because of the medium that I'm using to kind of do my research on this, or to dig deeper into this is not 100% credible. And that's because of me. I use my cards, I use my gift to try to commune with spirit. And sometimes that leaves room for me to kind of like mistranslate or misinterpret something. But I still try to give you the gist of the message as best as I can and as truthful as I can. But more than likely, I'm going to get something wrong in this. So I just want to be very transparent. I want to be very blunt with you. I want to be very open and honest. I don't want this to be something where it's like, well, you misspoke on this, or you were wrong about this, or you was pushing this narrative, because I'm not trying to push a narrative. I'm simply interested in seeing what transpired in this situation, because this family has been, like, I would say a big part, and kind of like setting up and like changing people's view on a certain group of individuals, and how people look at people with a lot of kids, and why people with religious background believe that they should have a lot of children. It's just a lot of cultural phenomenon and boxes that this family check off. And because they have been such an integral part in kind of like, I guess you could say, pop news, I felt it was fair. I'm not gonna say right. I would say fair because I'm human. I would say it felt only fair to do a reading on them. So I'm going to proceed forward with this reading. But please note that my opinion, that facts are not defamation, and that all statements made are alleged for entertainment purposes only. Again, I'm going into this I won't even say with pure intentions, because I'm being nosy, but I do want to know what's going on with this situation and what's going to come out of this situation, because this is not the first person in this family that has been rumored to be inclined to messing with people younger than them. In fact, I believe the older brother, Joe, I think, it was also is currently in jail because of these same allegations. So to me, it's kind of like, where there's smoke is fire. But again, I want to give people the benefit of the doubt and see what comes up. So now that I have given you my spiel, I have set up the expectations for this. We can proceed forward, and I will do this reading. Okay? So I just want that to be understood. Now, I haven't watched this show in great detail. I know my grandmother used to watch this. I would come in sometimes and I would be like, this looks crazy as heck. But it was something she watched, and every now and then I would tune in. But I didn't watch it enough to know all of the children and what was going on and blah, blah. I believe when this show came out, I was in college, so I really didn't have time like that to be watching TV. I was in my own world. So, yeah, I didn't really keep up with this. So I am really ignorant to a lot of this. So if there is something that I pick up on that you all know because you watched the show, you are very intimately informed about this family, good on you. Please shed light on the situation. But yeah, if I say something that is well known, I'm not apologizing for that. I'm giving you what I pick up on. Okay. So let's get into this. Okay, one more thing. Okay, I'm going to stop that there. Let's see. So I feel like this one was first because I didn't see the way these fell. Oh, let me move it this way. Sorry. So first things first, I'm getting here. First up, we have the Prince of Wands coming up in the upright. We have a Nine of Swords dealing with cruelty. We have an Ace of Cups and then a Nine of Discs gain. To me, this seems cut and dry, but I'm going to interpret what I'm getting from this, okay? This is my interpretation. This is not truth. So I don't know how he met this victim. Again, I didn't look into this or deep into this case because I wanted to make sure I didn't go in with like any additional bias than I already have. But this Prince of Wands coming up for me, I do pose a question though, that I wonder if he met this girl because he's like the youth pastor, the coach of a soccer team. Is he like a teacher? Does he work in some kind of proximity to children or young children or something? Because I feel like something here feels like abuse of power in some sort of way. And I also wonder if there was a thing here of maybe, and this is of no fault of her own, just I want people to keep this in mind. Think about you as a child and the people that you idolized, the adults you looked up to, the people you had crushes on that were older than you, and how more than likely you would have been malleable if they had given you the day, you know, the chance of day, whatever, to kind of like be in their world or hang out with them, and how you would have been prone to just falling head over heels for this person because you idolized them, you had a crush on them, whatever the case may be. But luckily and hopefully you never experienced that, because the adult that you were infatuated with or you had a crush on knew better and decided to deter you or steer you away, or never gave you the chance or even seen you in their light, hopefully. But something here says that obviously was not her case. I do also see something here with cruelty. To me, in this sense, cruelty, it feels more so like you were cruel in the sense or in the way of how you maybe exercised your power and control of me, how you exploited my weaknesses or my naivete or my loneliness, or you know, any other vulnerability or something like that that you were able to expose. Because I do want to point out, if you all do not know, this deck shows the signs that also rule the cards. That is Aries, okay? That's Mars energy with Gemini. That to me feels like you were purposeful in your approach and in your use and abuse. You were cruel in the tactics that you played, allegedly. And then I go into the Ace of Cups. That made me feel sad. That made me feel bad. It made me feel weak. It made me feel depressed. And I don't know if maybe this is getting into what led up to the reason why this girl is coming forward. Good on her if you know what's going on is true. And I have to say this because I don't know what is truth. None of us do. Innocent until proven guilty. But I will say this feels very suspicious, sitting in the energy that I am being given right now. And then I have the Nine of Discs gain. Oh, this is dealing with Venus in Virgo. This makes me feel like I don't know if one or two things it feels like to me. I'm not gonna say one or two things could be going on here. One or two things feel like is what's going is happening for this young lady. I don't know if there was someone she eventually confided in, an adult, somebody responsible, a friend, whatever the case may be, a cousin, and somebody brought it to her attention like, oh no, sweetie, you were taken advantage of. And I'm going to be here to support you all the way. And it's started to click some things or bring some things to light for her. Or or there's a thing here of like, I don't know why something about like jealousy is coming up to me, but there's a feeling of jealousy. And this is what makes me feel like, did this young girl, this child, did she know another child that is receiving his adoration, or did she see a look or something, or some exchange between Joseph and another child that she's close to or something like that, and it brought up a lot of feelings and thoughts for her, and that's what's making her come forward. I'm not sure what that is, but something along those lines feel like it's trying to come up here. I do want to talk about the underlying energies. I do see we have the Four of Discs power. See, yeah, this feels like power imbalance, power abuse. We have the Sun here coming up in reverse as well. And then we also have the Six of Swords science. Notice the science card, even though it's coming up in reverse. Sorry, I'm going to hold this up for you. It is showing the cross here. I wonder if this is a thing here. Is she going against the church's wishes? Did she confide? Okay, and I am happy to be wrong in this. I wonder if there was an instance here where she confided in the church or another church member or somebody in the community or something like that, or maybe somebody outside of the community, and that's what's bringing this up, because somebody that was inside the community would have been like, nope, this we're going to shut this down. We're going to they call it mitigate this inside the church or within the community, but she decided to tell somebody who's not in it, or maybe some non-believer, or somebody who was falling out of love, or out of the religion, or whatever the case may be, or strained with the religion or something, and they decided to be like, nope, we're not doing that. We're not gonna keep further, or we're not gonna further continue this trauma by, like, keeping family business within ourselves and not telling people. Like, we're not doing that. Something about some kind of belief, and maybe it could be this young lady's belief. That could be her. Maybe she's having a strenuous relationship with her beliefs or something like that, her faith, because of this alleged violation to her, and how she feels, and how she feels betrayed or violated, or whatever the case may be here. Yeah, let's see what else I'm gonna get. I can get some more clarity. This, okay? Because I was not trying to get back in my hand as I was shuffling. Okay, so I know this one was first. This is the Exile, Forsaken Soldier. This is strategy, failure, trauma. And notice how this is coming up in reverse as well. Somebody feels pushed out. I wonder if something feels like some kind of like call out happened, and that's what was like the trigger for this. Then I am getting Abraham, Justice of Pandemonium. I want you to call, justice, truth, and duty. I want you to be called to task for what you've done, the harm that you have caused, the pain that I feel, the here's something else too. Okay. So allegedly, okay, another thing that's coming up for me, another like, I guess, scenario that's coming up, or happenstance that could be happening here, an event that could have triggered this. I'm starting to lean to maybe it's more so this child it was being judged Because maybe, and more than likely, and if, this is no fault of her and I'm not calling her out or anything like that, but think about how often in communities, because I know within the Black community, this happens a lot. An older man could be pushing up on some girl, and instead of people more so calling out the man, I mean, this is happening less now, I feel, but you still see it in certain pockets, and it is widely. And I'm going to say, not just in the Black community, I would say worldwide, but largely, generally, it's the man is not being called to task for pushing up on a young woman or a child, but the girl is called, oh, you being fast, oh, you shouldn't be doing that, why you talking to so and so, why you all in them boys face, go change your clothes, you need to go be quiet, all of these kind of things that come up. And I wonder if that was an event or something that occurred with this young lady, where maybe somebody seen the way she was acting or dressing and was calling her out and saying, you're doing this and this and that. And she's like, well, do you not see what he is doing? Or did you not see or hear that he asked me to do this, or I'm doing this for so and so, but I'm being called out, I'm the one that's being exiled and being called to task? Oh no. You get what I'm saying? It's almost of like that, I don't want to say childish, but childish kind of like thought process that she was kind of like going through, that spurned some things for her, and that spurned her to kind of like start seeking advice or speaking to someone. And I feel like that's what happened here. And then lastly, I get the Traveler, Keeper of the Crossroads. This is dealing with restlessness, independence, and appraisal. Okay. Restlessness, independence, and appraisal. The restlessness and independence is the biggest thing that's coming up for me. In some kind of way, she's trying to stand apart or stand on her own 2 feet or something like that. Or regain her boundaries or control of something. What's this underlying energies here? I do have the Poet of Avon is coming up in reverse. This is fame, stagnation, and pride. Okay. I also have Abaddon, which is dealing with pestilence, corruption, and malice. Now we're getting into some things. And then we have Dawn. This is dealing with just reward, evaluation, and respite. I don't know what he did, but it feels like she definitely has a bone to pick and she wants him to be called out for it. Looking at these cards here. Yeah. And again, if what she is alleging actually occurred, more power to her. And he should burn in every layer of hell. I don't care. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think the justice, him doing his justice or his time here on earth is enough. That's my personal opinion. If it's true. Okay, let's see what's going on with him. Oh, the way that just cracked like that. What's the card? 5 of Swords, defeat. The way that popped like that. Okay, let's see what we're getting here. I do want to note the Magi or the Magus wants to come out in reverse. That's usually dealing with manipulation. Oh, what's this? This is Temperance also wanting to come out in reverse. Okay, some of these cards is coming out. Hold on. Let me. Wait, Nine of Cups happening. Ooh. Oh crap! I just smushed this card. What is these two that wants to come out? Ooh, Hangs Man, the Lovers. I do want y'all to note how on this one I had to cover it a little bit. It's two little kids here. I do want to note that. Okay, I'm gonna put the three underlying. Oh, I don't like that coming up here. The Devil was one of the underlying cards. It was after the three that I pulled to the side. However, I'm gonna do this here. Do this. So we don't have no issues, YouTube. So I do see the Seven of Disc here dealing with failure. So to me, it kind of feels like being caught. I don't know why I kind of see a praying mantis in this too. That could just be me. He has the Nine of Cups happiness. What kind of wish fulfillment grant or wish has been granted with this? And then we have the Lovers. And then adjustment. Which is really like hangman energy. Okay, what's the clarity for the underlying cards? Two of Swords, okay, not at peace. So clearly he's worried about something, which is understandable. You are being called to court to fight for your life because I believe one of the charges is a felony life sentence or something, or a life charge. It's a lifetime charge in the state of Florida, I think. Because I think he was being called for in Florida because he was on vacation. But and correct me if I'm wrong. Do they live in like do? That's not Idaho. I don't think that's Iowa either. I think I'm blanking on the state name right now, but this is it Utah. Utah, I think, is the state where it's a lot of Mormons that live there. I don't know if they live in the state of Utah, but in his home state, I believe, or him and his wife live. I believe they live in Utah. I think that's it. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm wrong on that. I don't know where they live, but I know there was also some additional charges being held on them there as well, or at least him. The Chariot. And then the Five of Wands strife. Yeah, you are in for the fight of your life. He's gearing up to fight. He's definitely gearing up to fight back. I wonder if the happiness is coming from, did something maybe come out in this case, or I don't know, was he maybe able to go home? Does he feel pretty strong about beating the charges or something like that? Maybe that's where the happiness is coming up at. The Lovers, it could be more so involving his wife, and the adjustment. With the Hanged Man card, the adjustment card being here is kind of like that feeling the guillotine is about to be lowered on you, but you could potentially stop it. You have one opportunity to stop it, and you're going to do all that you can. It kind of just feels like you feel the target being drawn on your back, essentially. Yeah, that's more so what it is. I feel targeted. I feel the target being drawn on my back. I wonder if the Lovers has something to do with his wife. I'm not understanding why this happiness card is coming out here. I do feel like he's gearing up for this legal battle for sure, though. With the Chariot and the Five of Wands being here, it makes me feel like he's gearing up to fight back for sure. Oh, so much. Okay, but I had the 3 in my arms. I wanted to come out. Anubis fell first. This is dealing. Ooh, I don't like that I see this. Anubis, preservation, neutrality, and obligation. Preservation is the word here, people. I am trying to preserve my reputation, my freedom. It could be innocence or my preservation of my assumed innocence in this. You could tell where I'm leaning. And then I also have the Prince, the Forgotten Adversary. This is dealing with sorrow, lost valor, serendipity. And then lastly, we have the Exile. This for the child, it came up in reverse. For him, it's coming up in the upright. This is strategy, failure, trauma. He's gearing up for battle. I'll tell you that. I don't think he's trying to answer for it. Atonement, growth, deceit for the underlying energies here. We also do have potency, confidence, and magnetism also coming up in reverse here. Note so far that the underlying cards are coming up as what? I'm going to show these to you again. The underlying cards are coming up as what? And then I have, all of them have been feminine. Ereshkagil, wrath, instability, and suspicion. So let me hold it here so you can see. All of the energies that have come up for the underlying energies have been feminine. Again, to me, this is feeling like where there's smoke, there's fire. I don't think there's complete innocence in this. Now, the other reading that's really interesting to me is the wife. And yes, I can bring in his wife because she is also, I had charges launched against her as well. So I want to see where the wife stands on this. And to me, that's kind of going to drive the nail in the coffin for me. Either way, whether it's like, oh, he did it or not. I want to see what's going on. What's going on in her head. What is the wife's name? I need to look it up. Oh, okay. So apparently her name is Kendra. So what is this I want to come out? Prince of Wands. So both of these people see him as a Prince of Wands because this is the other card they want to come out. So both the child and his wife sees him as a Prince of Wands. Keep that in mind. Something makes me feel the way these cards are coming out. She feels like she's very much I stand behind my husband, almost like silent partner type of energy is what I'm getting from her, because her cards aren't like flying out and hitting the table like I have a lot to say. They're kind of coming, just flipping over, or like standing up in my hand in the deck. It makes me feel like she's very subtle, maybe soft spoken or something. Okay, look, as soon as I say that, then one card slide out. But guess what it is? The Fool. If you all are not watching it, it is the Fool, and it's coming up in reverse. The other card that wanted to come out, mind you, was the Queen of Wands coming up in reverse. Ooh, I don't like to see that. Oh, no. Okay, I had to point this out before I even read which actually fell out. So it makes me nervous that this Queen of Wands is coming up in reverse as I'm reading on like Kendra's energy about her husband. Because the Queen of Wands wanted to come out. But the underlying energies here, I'm seeing the Two of Cups come up in reverse. The Two of Cups is like if you was to get the Lovers, or the Four of Wands in reverse coming out. It's one of those hard romantic cards. It's one of those romantic cards you really pay attention to. Let me pull out the rest of them. I also have the Six of Swords, Science for the other underlying energy. And then I have the Nine of Wands, Strength, also coming up in reverse. Ugh. Now, I'm definitely going to say allegedly on this because people going to think I am just being biased or I'm just coming up with stuff. But I'm telling you, this is what I feel like I'm getting here. Okay. This is my interpretation of the cards. I am not saying this is true at all. My interpretation of what I'm getting from this. So I don't think she is the most confident person. And I'm not saying like normally any of us you know, oh, I don't like how my thighs look, or these jeans make me look fat, or I don't look good in the color red or something like that. It's not some like little minor insecurity thing where it's like, okay, you can fix it, change it, or whatever. This feels like very strong, insecure person. Like maybe she doesn't feel like the most, at least right now, in this energy that I'm getting, it doesn't feel like she's the most like confident or secure person. With this Queen of Wands coming up in reverse, because typically the Queen of Wands, if she's coming up in the upright, she coming in stepping on people's neck. She knows her sensuality. She knows how to play on her sexuality. She knows she looks good. She will walk in the room and she will captivate people. She know what she got. She know what she's working with. She's not afraid to use it. This is coming up in reverse. So to me, this feels like somebody who is subdued, demure, maybe not the most confident, maybe not even the most outspoken. It's kind of like the energy I get because it's coming up in reverse. The Two of Cups love card, but it also coming up in reverse. It doesn't make me feel, this feels more so like a marriage of convenience, or we're just here at this point. This is what's going on. It feels like a deal. It's almost like I don't feel like there's really love in this relationship. It's more so out of like duty or responsibility is more so the energy I'm getting here. The Six of Swords, Science. Now, again, this is coming up in upright. This feels like, I know it sounds weird to say this because it says science. The cross is blatantly in the back there. Is this their faith? A relationship based on the faith, on their beliefs? Here. And then with the Nine of Wands, the Strength card coming up in reverse, something makes me feel like she is taking on the blame of like, and that's also another reason why this Queen of Wands could have been coming up in reverse. It's like, I don't feel like, I feel like this happened because I wasn't strong enough, or I didn't believe enough. I didn't work hard enough. I didn't pray hard enough. I didn't pay enough attention in my marriage, or something like that. It feels almost like she's blaming herself for what has transpired, whatever has transpired, and for why this is going forward. Or this is almost like something testing. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. Testing her faith. The underlying energies that's coming up for me feels like it's more so the energy that's coming through. And that sucks that that's what she thinks. To me personally, I think that sucks. I know some people who, in my personal opinion, who suffer under this spiritual psychosis of like of how womanhood is supposed to be um mm, acted out when you are a religious woman, how you are supposed to behave, or this role you're supposed to play as a religious woman. That, to me, it feels like she is suffering some like spiritual psychosis of like, I failed in my role as a religious woman, as a religious wife, as being your queen, or being your second hand, your, the neck for your head, or whatever the case may be. It's just kind of like, I failed in that regard, and this is why we are being punished. This is why you are being punished, just because a failure on my part, kind of thing. It feels, to me, it feels like some weird stuff. I understand where it comes from. It still doesn't mean that it doesn't still sound weird coming out of my mouth. Okay, so actually getting to the cards that actually fell out, we do have the Two of Dominions here. This is like some tough choice going on. Again, why is like I'm getting failure to launch? I don't know why. What that is. The art card is also coming up here. That's what it's called in this particular deck, the tarot, the Alister Crowley tarot. But this is actually Temperance. Temperance and the Fool is coming up here. Okay, hold on. What does she feel like she was supposed to hold him in balance about? Or does she feel like their relationship is imbalanced? Or again, she like blaming herself? I'm just wondering, because I don't know at this point. I'm wondering, is this dealing in regards to her kind of like feeling like there's some imbalance? There wasn't enough faith, there wasn't enough belief, there wasn't enough work, some failure on her part for why this is happening. She didn't hold him in check, or she didn't get him help when she noticed something was going on or something. Well, what is this? What is this? Okay, let me shuffle some more. I need to see what's going on here. I need some clarity if I can get it. What is this first card? I have Aron, authority, hunt, natural balance. See, what is it with this balance? Authority, the hunt, natural balance. We have martyr, honesty, shame, restitution. Oh, before I could even really start shuffling. Fame, stagnation, and pride. Let's see here. What's supposed to be coming up here? Why do I keep getting something like... it feels like she blames herself for not protecting him. Talk about a ride or die. At least that's the best way I can describe the feeling I'm getting here. Like, I blame myself for not being able to protect him, whatever that means. And then I'm getting Jean the Maid, humility, disillusionment, champion, guardian of saints. What the fuck? The underlying energies, I'm getting Hades, equanimity, wisdom, and inevitability. Okay, so you can see that. Honey, Kendra, I don't know what you got going on, but you cannot blame yourself for grown man actions. I'm sorry, that's just too much for me. I'm not taking blame. Excuse me? I'm not infantilizing my man. I'm not going to be protecting you like that. You are a whole human being just like I am. You are responsible for your own actions, your emotions, and how you go out here presenting yourself and how you go out here presenting me and vice versa. Like, no, we're not doing that. Now you can see why I get into it with boyfriends, with my boyfriends, because I would be punching them in the throat. Excuse me? You can't walk around here and act like you a man and then you can't even take accountability. Like, what? Okay. Karen, the ferryman. This is also the underlying energy, necessity, focus, transition. It seems like she's more so worried about him than she is worried about her own self. And then I also have Danu, mother of creation, motherhood, ferocity, creation. Okay, so here's some energy I'm finally getting in regards to their children, because they do have 4 kids. I believe what was said. So here we have something where there's some other concern here. So maybe the underlying energy, and I'm hoping maybe this is more so dealing with protecting or blaming herself for not protecting her children or something here. I'm gonna hope that's more so the energy. I hope it's not all focused on her husband. Like, I get it. If he's actually the love of your life, which I highly disagree with here, that's some heartbreak, honey. That is something not being right. But something for me keeps, like, it feels like it's coming through. Like, she kind of blames herself for this whole situation, and I don't know what that is about. But yeah, now we're actually getting that motherly energy, that mother bear energy coming through, and I can stand behind her on that. I can't fault her for that. You know, being a mom and you feeling ferocious and protective about your children, and whichever way that is, whether it's right or wrong, that's not for me to judge. But whether it's right or wrong, I can't fault her for that. So that is what I am getting on this. I'm not going to tell you what to think or, what to believe on this situation. I have told you, or hopefully you already have gathered where I'm leaning towards in this situation. But let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Do you think he's guilty, or do you think he's innocent? Do you think there's a sprinkle of truth to this allegation, or do you think it's a whole lot of storytelling going on, and why? If you like this reading, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you would like to see more readings like this, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell, selecting it to all so you can see the next time I upload. If you have a suggestion for another true crime reading you would be interested in me doing, drop that in the comments as well, and I will see if I can get around to it. With all of that being said, I want to thank you so much for sticking out with me, for watching this video, for engaging, and for coming back to see another reading with me. In the meantime, in between time, I'm wishing you all a great night, day, or evening. May you be protected. May you be loved. May you have a wholesome day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.